Good morning, y'all. Welcome to another video on the Ludico Arms channel. Today we are going to do a tool review, unboxing, and take a look at this Metabo HPT 4.5-inch grinder. It's a model G12SE3, I believe, or maybe it's G12SE3. Not really sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's that G12SE3. So I had to get this grinder because I've got a bunch of grinders. Like a lot of people who do a lot of fab work and work in industry, I don't like to keep changing my discs out for different ones. So I've got an old Milwaukee paddle grinder, 4.5-inch grinder that I use for flat discs. And then I've got this really old Black & Decker that I've had, hell, I was probably 16 or 17 when I bought that, and it's about to die, but I just use it as a wire brush. I've got this really expensive Metabo, made in Germany, fancy one, the old school Metabo, but it's a metal cutter, not so much a grinder. I pulled that out of a dumpster and put a new cord on it. And then for my 4.5-inch grinder, I got this old, you can't hardly see it anymore, but it's a Makita, and I have had this thing forever, probably 20 years, and it still works. But the problem is this switch has then got messed up, and when you're using it, it constantly turns off on you. It doesn't stay locked on. And that's no big deal if you've got something like this Milwaukee here with the paddle switch, because you're holding it anyways. But on this, with this switch right here, and usually I'm wearing gloves when I'm using it, it just doesn't work too good. It keeps cutting off, and it's a pain in my behind. So rather than keep fighting that, I decided to get a new grinder. So I was on Amazon and I was looking at DeWalt's and Milwaukee's and everything, and this Metabo popped up. Now I know that this and this old German made one have absolutely nothing in common. This is made in China. It is not the old German made high quality. You can't beat that. This, I don't know, we'll see. So the only reason I got it is because I was looking at this one and the DeWalt and the Milwaukee. They're all made in China. So this one was $89 and the DeWalt was $99. So this was the one we got. Figured we'll give it a shot. And in case you're wondering, the only reason why I don't buy the cheapo Harbor Freight ones is because I have in the past and they just don't last. They don't last long enough to do anything. So we got the book, and yep, it is the G12SE3 serial number, or model number. So we'll throw that to the side. We've got a grinding wheel, Metabo brand. And we've got the grinder and a guard and handle and a wrench. And that is all that's in the box. So we'll toss that to the side. Let's see here. So right off the bat, it doesn't look too bad. It looks, even though it's made in China, it doesn't have that Yeah, sometimes you get the power tools from Harbor Freight and they just feel cheap. This doesn't feel cheap. Doesn't mean it's not, but it doesn't feel that way. So we've got the guard, and it looks like, yeah. So if you look at this guard, it's got some tabs in here, there, there, and there. And if you look at the front of this, you can see that there are some slots there, there, and there, and a lever that you can pull back. So I'm pretty sure that's just going to flop down in there like that and lock in, and then you can, yep, so you can adjust it by just pulling back on it and turning it to the next slot. If you and at first I'll have this on here, but as you probably noticed from when I was showing you my other grinders, I don't suggest it for safety reasons, but mine usually end up off because it gives you that much, you know, a quarter to a half inch more space where you can get in somewhere tight. But I didn't tell you to do that. And then it's got this handle that you can put on either side, and I very rarely use the handles because, again, they just always seem to be in the way. But it comes with one if you like to use the handles. There you go. It's got the usual, the little button you push to lock the spindle. So there we go. Spin this off of here, and that's pretty much a standard chuck. Now I don't ever use the wrench on these things. I always just put this in here and put this on here and run it down like that, and then I get the button in, and I usually just grab this and turn it just like that, and that's tight enough. And you can do the same thing when you go to take it back off. Normally I'd have gloves on to do it, but you get that in the slot and you can just grab it and use that as leverage, and it'll pop that thing loose. I very rarely use the little wrench, but if you want to, it's pretty self-explanatory how that works. So on the switch, you got the usual kind of paddle switch with the little Glock safety, so to speak. And yep, apparently you can lock this on too, so you can press it down and then pull this other little lever back, and it will stay on until you do that. Alright, so that's that. Now this thing's supposedly 11 amps or 10.5 amps, so it should act considerably more powerful than my old Makita one. Not that I really need more power, because that Makita always works just fine. I will say this though, this thing's got a nice long cord on it. I'm not really sure exactly how long that is, but I will measure it. So let me get set up here, as I'm fixing to do some grinding. We'll give it a try, and I'll tell you how I feel about it. So I'll be right back. Alright, so I measured the cord on this thing, and it is about between 12 and 13 feet long. It's kind of hard to do with just a tape measure, but 12 to 13 feet long is how long it is. So that's a nice long cord. Alright, so let's give this thing a shot. See how it does. Well, I can definitely say that it is heavier than my old Makita, but not bad enough to make me not like it. It doesn't really, now granted I haven't used it that long, but I tried to load it up pretty good on that one corner, and I could have stalled it, which you can pretty much stall any grinder, but it's got plenty of ass behind it, and it spins fast too. I mean, it removes material quite a bit faster than that old Makita did. Matter of fact, I've had that Makita probably 20 plus years, and I'm wondering why. I should have got something newer a long time ago. So long term, we'll see. You know, only time will tell, but right now I can tell it's probably going to be better than I definitely like it better. I've got one of the DeWalt paddle 4.5 inch grinders at work, and I definitely like this one better so far. But like I said, you can't, they don't hardly make anything in America anymore, so this, if you're gonna have to get a Chinese one, this is not a bad one. And it was only $89 and some change on Amazon. I think it was on sale, but that was actually cheaper than, I was looking at the same DeWalt I got at work, but this one was $10 cheaper, and I kind of like it better. So we'll see how long it lasts. If there's any trouble out of it, I will be sure to let y'all know. But from what I can tell right now, right out of the box, I don't see me having any problems with this thing. So hopefully this has helped somebody out, or gave y'all a little information on it, a little first-hand look at it. Yeah, it's Chinese, but I've definitely bought worse things that were made in China than that. It's actually pretty decent for made in China. I'm not going to complain. I mean, yeah, I would pay more. It's like a lot of things. I would be willingly pay more for that if it was made in the United States, or if I could get a Makita or Black & Decker or anything made in the United States anymore. But since that's, at least I don't know of any. I mean, if you do, leave something in the comments, and I'll be glad to check them out. But we will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching and supporting the channel. Y'all have a good one.